Yo, what's up, everybody? This is a poorly prepared video about divination. And the reason, I'll just jump into why I'm doing this video is, so I bought this deck of cards called the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. And I went to a store, I was going to buy tarot cards. Anyway, divination is, I think it's normally thought to, you go to like one of those persons with the globe and the funny hat, and then you ask them about, what you should do in life or what's going on with whatever. And, trying to like figure out the future. Like a lot of people look at it that way. I personally don't. I'll get into how I look into it. But back to this story. I went to go buy tarot cards. I saw this deck. Bought this deck instead, and then I was playing around with it for a while, but then 2 cycles ago, in cycle 6, I was like, hey, I'm going to just draw every single card in the deck just so I can see them all. Then I stopped doing that. I didn't do it at all the last cycle, and then this start of this cycle, I was like, oh, let me finish that, and I only had a few cards left, so we're down to the last card. I haven't looked at it yet. We'll look at that together. But before we get into that, I said that I don't really subscribe to the standard definition of divination. Is that what, looking into the future? That way, I'll give you a quick breakdown of how I see it and use it. I guess I could point here. The majority of my experience is with the I Ching or the I Ching. The Book of Changes. I think I've been playing with that for about 10 years, and I'll jump into this real quick. I'll just read straight from this and kind of like freestyle off of it. This is from, I just highlighted a couple passages from the book. I'll link to this book and put some other links below, like I'll link to the deck or whatever. Stephen Karcher, Total I Ching, Myths for Changes, a guy who's been doing it for decades, recommended this book. And what's interesting, here I just saw this coin. What's interesting about when you're using something like the I Ching or tarot cards or a deck, or I'll talk about that later, is you're not really supposed to just ask yes and no questions. You're not supposed to be like, oh, should I marry this person? Should I take that job? Should I quit my job? Should I break up? Should I, like you're not supposed to ask questions like that. But I saw this coin. I put it there for a reason, I guess, to remind me, because I just wanted to throw this in real quick. I think divination is, man, I need to shave. I think divination is something that we all, like, I think it's just natural to being human. As an example, like Two-Face off the things, people will just naturally flip a coin. Should I, let me see. Like I'm trying to think of something I should do today. I don't know. Should I eat a sandwich? Here we go. And then, whatever, right? People just naturally do that. Or have you ever naturally like crumpled up a piece of paper and like, if I make this shot, I'll, and then you like do the shot. So it's like something that's just kind of like embedded in us naturally. But when you get to usually you're doing like just yes and, that's binary, just yes and no. When you get to the higher levels, I guess this picture ends up being cool, is, there's binary yes and no. This is an African system of divination that I don't have experience with yet, but I'm looking forward to researching it and playing with it more. But here, like yes, no, you see there's eight things that can be one side or the other. Or if you look at the I Ching, you have 6. That's why they call it a hexagram, where the lines are either on or off, and they give you, I guess it's more than 6. It's they can be in 3 states: on, off, changing to one, or changing to the other. Anyhow, so you're not just doing simple yes and no questions. Where I'm getting to, before I draw this card, and what I'm getting to is like, here. Let me just read this real quick. So like the way to use it, like when I said, should I marry this person? Should I take this job? Should I take this job? Should I, these are actually good, really good situations to use something like this. But you just don't want to present it as a yes or no question. First, I'll read just a couple bits from this book to give you an idea of the feeling you should have, and then a way to ask the question. But then I'll tell you how I do it, which is a little bit different. But here you go. The spirit, and a lot of these, like, you're talking to the spirit. And spirit is interesting because you don't need to believe in ghosts or believe in God, or like, spirit rests in the realm of science is what I'm saying. Like, and you can go beyond that if you want to, like, get into magic or gods or whatever. That's fine. That's another way to interpret things. But, like, this is something that you, being a logical minded person, can use, and I'll get into that. But this starts with: the spirit will often manifest as a problem or difficulty that interferes with conscious will. You experience this as a disturbance, an unrest in the heart, anxiety, confusion, a need to know the hidden sense, a desire for validation, or the feeling you are grappling with something that cannot be dealt with through ordinary means of analysis, indicate there is probably an unknown force at work in the situation. And really what's important is this: with ordinary means of analysis. So again, if you're, thinking about divorcing someone, or I don't know, I'm focused on work and relationships, but if you're thinking about, like, relationship, what you should do, or, what you should do about a job, but you're able to use ordinary means of analysis, like, let's say you just make a pros and cons list, or you talk with some friends, you journal, whatever, and you're able to work it out on your own. Cool. You don't hit this up. Like, again, they mentioned anxiety, confusion. When you're, when you run into something and you're just like, man, I don't know. I've talked about it, I've written it out, I still don't know, right? And then, you could just, like, oh, I'm gonna flip a coin. Like, sure, you could do that. Or you could consult something like this. All right. And again, we're gonna get to the card. We will get to the card eventually. We're working our way there. So here, so you have this, you have this situation. And again, there's a lot more words in this, but I'm just taking little chunks. Take time to consider the problem, search out the feelings, images, and experiences involved, articulate what you feel and think about things, what you know and what you do not know. Look for relevant memories and experiences, hopes and fears, dreams and desires. So what it's basically saying is, whatever this situation is, like do journal it, do write it out, like, think about what comes up, and like, you just you kind of compile, like, feelings and logical analysis. You just kind of, like, get it all there, you present it, you're getting ready for your inquiry, right? And then here this is a little bit more specific about how, what kind of questions, the way you can consult it, the way you word it. And I do something different, but just so you can get something here. An effective formulation is, what about doing X? What would happen if I ... What should my attitude towards X be? If you are confused about the whole situation, you can ask for an image. What is happening here? Please give me an image of the situation. How can I best achieve X? So those are some examples from this guy about the best way to consult, the I Ching, or anything. But if you see what I'm saying about the coin doesn't give you, it can't give you all those dimensions. It's binary, right? Like, you can't, the coin is just yes or no. Like, that's all you can get from a coin. So when you upgrade your coin to, multiple levels, you can get, a deeper deeper insight. Now, how I use it, the way I've used it, and don't get me wrong, I spent a lot of time messing with questions as it was laid out in here and other books and ways to whatever. But what I do now, and here as a side note, I actually spent maybe about 6 months where anytime I had even a little conflict within me about what to do, I consulted the I Ching, and then I tried to let go of what I wanted, quote unquote. Like if I knew what I wanted, I wouldn't have had that conflict, right? So I tried to let go, and I just did, to the best of my ability, the analysis from my result, and I learned a lot like that. What I kind of learned is I don't want to say it doesn't matter what you do, but whatever you do, you're in a new situation, and you have to act from that situation. So again, how do I use it? How do I consult? I basically, my line, so it isn't so much of a question, it's, could you provide me insight into X? Since he used X, and X being a situation that I kind of mapped out. And I like to write it down now because it's easy to go into it thinking you are clear, and then consulting it and getting a response. But it really enhances your relationship with whatever tool you use, tarot cards, the I Ching, this. If you write it down and you have some clarity, so then when you get the response, you can really measure it towards what you have written down. So on that note, and what's interesting, what sparked this whole video, I think I said that, was that there's one card left. I've made a video about something totally different. So the spirits created this this video. I mean, because it's interesting. I decided to start making videos now. Had I pulled this card, a week ago, there wouldn't have been a video. But now there's a video. The spirits brought you here. Say hello. So what I'm going to do is ask for insight into, and I have it all written down. I'm not going to read my whole journal. But it's, I basically am talking about YouTube in here. And I'm talking about kind of the Milltown Kid Casey relationship, which I'll make a separate video about because it's interesting. But I'll just read this. Well, I don't have to read it. I had one thought this morning that was interesting, and I was like, man, my YouTube, when I say YouTube career, that's linked to, other stuff, Patreon, if I, Discord, if I, eventually Twitch stream regularly, merch. For me, more than all that stuff, community building, but it's my YouTube career starts today. And the reason I'm coming at it that way is because I feel like I've actually come out on the other side of this whole transformation with Milltown Kid and whatever. Anyway, so that's what's on my mind. YouTube is on my mind, and this card is for us. It's not even just for me, it's for us. I have no idea what it is. We'll pull it out. Maybe we'll just take it in, whatever it is. And then I'll read whatever in the book. And the book actually has cards for upside down or right side up. I just pulled them all out right side up because I just wanted to, I'm just getting to know the book. So we'll read the right side up version of this. And here, I'll close my eyes. You guys can see it before me. Oh, I'm I open my eagle. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Eagle, man, what, and again, you can just kind of what immediately comes to mind when you think of eagles, eagles, yeah, I think of, and then this book might not agree with me at all, and it doesn't matter. Oh, and this is good, because I don't think I said this yet, so you're getting it real time, is back when I was talking about this is totally logical and scientific and whatever. I got this from another book. It might be in that book too. But if you're, if you want to get deep into the spirits and looking at it like, some other consciousness or consciousnesses that are helping you, do stuff, that's cool. But like just at a logical level, you're using imagery and other ideas to unlock parts of your brain that you weren't tapping into previously. So whatever the issue you were having, you weren't able to figure it out with regular analytical analysis. You consult this, and it just kind of helps you see things from a different perspective. That's it. But anyway, yeah, I saw Eagle. I think like independence is what came to mind to me. And if I link that to what I just said, my YouTube career starting this morning, it's like, yeah, man, fucking Eagles, like they know they're focused. Like, focus comes to mind. Like they're focused. They like see, like how Eagles can see from. Dude, it's crazy, right? Like, this is like a YouTube video. Maybe I'll find it of where they got I don't know if it's on an eagle, but maybe it's on a hawk or an eagle. They got a camera on it, and it like swooping down and getting like an animal. But it's crazy, right? Like they can zero in on what they want and swoop in and get it. So there, like my ability to zero in and swoop in. So like that, this is, I'm doing this publicly, so to speak, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of how you do this. It's like you just start making associations that you weren't seeing before. So like I don't have anything in here about focus, but like I get that. I like that feeling, like, oh yeah, like I can focus on, instead of, I've my whole life been pretty scatterbrained, especially if you talk about like just Milltown Kid and Casey. Milltown Kid is just scatterbrained by design, but then you have Casey, who's more eagle-ish, but with both of those kind of identities operating simultaneously, like it, limited my ability to eagle, so to speak. Anyhow, there, like that. Okay, there, kind of seeing how this works, and then we'll bust out the actual book. We'll see what the book says. But I'm sure, like, dude, you don't even have to look at the book if you want to. You can be like, oh, I feel good from that, like whatever, but you can get you can go deeper. I'm probably gonna pick up some tarot cards soon. Like my original intent was picking up tarot cards, but I picked these up instead. So here we go. Boom, eagle. And it gives you three things. Like if you pull it upside down, it's medicine. Right side up is invitation. And then the top is the essence. Eagle comes from the east, the place of the rising sun, of new beginnings. She soars high in the sky, sees the smallest detail with clarity. See, like you pull it out from the picture without losing track of the bigger picture. Boom. And nests in the high mountains. Oh, I like that because, like I actually wrote like, I want to find the exact thing so, I'm not making it up, but I wrote about like the high mountain. Just brought this to mind is, previous to Milltown Kid, which was this like grand experiment, which, another video, but like the Casey, the pre-Milltown Kid Casey, dude, all I was interested in was fucking being a hermit, Shaolin temple stuff, meditating, getting the fuck out of the city, fuck all that. So yeah, reading High Mountain, like that High Mountain shit reminds me of like hermits, right? High mountains and nests in the high mountains, man. That's what I still want to do. That's what I plan on doing, man. I'm gonna have a fucking spot in the mountains, and you're all invited when I get it set up. For Eagle, there are no obstacles, only opportunities. She calls you to ascend, to acquire perspective, so you can fly wing to wing with great spirit. And that's cool that spirit was brought up, because I don't think spirit, like I pulled a card yesterday, they don't always talk about spirit. But because spirit was in that book, and again, like um, the best way to see how all this stuff works is start doing it. Just start playing with it, and you'll see. Like, no bullshit. The I Ching. Every time I've used it, and there's something they say it in this book and all the books, is like you shouldn't use it like just to goof around. Like, you should like just take it, like you use it seriously. But every time I've used it, man, it's been on point. Like, no bullshit. Like, it's always been on point. Obviously, it's more on point sometimes than others, but it's like always been good. It's always helped me think through something. So the invitation: you have become trapped in your daily routine and feel you do not know where to go and what to do next. That's not true right now. Have you lost your sense of purpose? Eagle invites you to take a deep breath and spread your wings. When was the last time you opened them? Eagle reminds you that your spirit was born to soar to the heavens. As you contemplate choices, ask yourself, do I want to live in a chicken coop, sheltered from life, counting the regular feedings, or do I want to soar like an eagle? Now, that actually touches on something that's exactly my journal. If your answer is the latter, do you want to soar like eagle, then you must accept eagle's invitation and embrace the courage that will help you choose freedom. Okay, all right, so it was good. All right. And this is like, so you guys can see real time the on pointness in this long ass TV episode of a video. But here, so here, I'll just read. This is where I stopped journaling. I was gonna write more. I'm clearly not done growing yet. I still haven't fully surrendered and embraced who I am. There are still forces beyond my true self that directly or indirectly influence my decisions. I will transcend them. I will create the frameworks and environments I wrote for others, but for others to do the same. But I got to do it for myself first. So if we reread that, where was it? Do I want to live in a chicken coop, sheltered from life, counting the regular feedings, or do I want to soar like an eagle? So that's like directly related to what I just wrote there. Embrace the courage that will help you choose freedom, son. Insightful. Anyway, there you go. Do I have any closing thoughts on all of this? Yeah, man. Like, I highly recommend using a divination system that speaks to you. And again, like I brought up, I don't know if my mouse moving will open this up. I got to put a password in. I brought up the African tradition one just because their divination exists in, like, it's everywhere. It's like everywhere. The shamans existed everywhere in the world. Every tradition has every human, tradition. Every human tradition closely linked to the earth and the spirit. Like, before things got super modern, and we've lost connection to nature. When I say lost connection to nature, we're not out farming every day and fucking in the woods, or but all these systems had divination in them. They had shamans who were like masters of divination, and divination exists. I'm saying all this because my point is, just whatever system, just whatever system is speaking to you for whatever reason. If you're like, you see that African shit, and you're like, dude, I want to know about that. Dude, go in that direction and play with that. If you saw this deck and liked this card, I didn't even mention, like, what was really dope was pulling water yesterday. Be water, my friend, and having Bruce Lee on the cover of my journal. But like, if this deck speaks to you, get this deck. If you like tarot, get tarot cards. And there are other decks that people have made. There's a divination system out there for you that you will like, that speaks to you and your culture and your experiences. Go find one. Go get it. I'm gonna go. Dude, I gotta find this store, dude. Maybe I'll make a video of the store where I bought this deck. literally had hundreds, if not over 1,000 different kind of tarot. Definitely had hundreds tarot decks, and then some other type of decks. But yeah, that's all I got. The shit is scientific, and it's one of these things where the only you have to do the science for this. You can't really base it off of what I'm telling you or what you might read somewhere else or whatever, and someone's just like, no man, you like do the work and you'll see. All right, man, ladies, gents, love you, peace out.